I got 3 kills. I knocked them off the wall. I killed myself, but I took them all with me.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Run. Footage?
Yeah, I should throw in some of my shit Valorant footage. That way someone's like,
I probably
hey.
have some Overwatch footage. Oh, no, I'd have to get that ready. I don't have any of that
Yeah,
ready.
I'd be doing the same thing, man. It would take a bit. So surprisingly enough, after 4 days with the kids alone, camping, I am not drinking.
Wait, it was just you?
Yeah, it's just me and the kids.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
They're pretty good. They just got bad when we got home, that's all. But yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all. It was good. Like, the weather was a little bit crap here and there, but I mean, otherwise it was not too bad. But yeah, no, it was good. Good 4 days. Good 4 day break. Of course, everything comes in when you're off, right, or when you're doing something else. Like the guy for the logos is like, "Hey, what do you want to do? How do you want to change it?" And I'm like, "I haven't even seen them at high res. I have no idea what they look like." So I spent the day messaging and trying to get that sorted out. But yeah, so today's fun. I mean, this isn't brand new news. This came out a couple days ago, I think, too. On the 23rd.
4 days ago.
Yeah, 4 days ago. But I mean, I was just catching up on news after a long weekend and what was going on. So, but for anybody else living under a rock like me, Overwatch 2 is set to replace Overwatch and become one, I guess.
Well, it certainly doesn't appear to be different. I actually played a little of the beta last night for Overwatch 2. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's Overwatch with 2 new characters. Maybe there's a couple of maps that are going to come in that are different, but as far as just straight up quick match gameplay is concerned, it's exactly the same.
I mean, from what I see here, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new maps so far. Is that going to be the total?
It's entirely possible. Like I said, I just did some quick match stuff last night, and it was on all maps that I'd played before. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of underwhelming.
I that's about how I was thinking about it in my head last night. That it wasn't all there. I mean, I had fun playing Sojourn. That's one of the new characters that they're bringing in. She was okay. Nothing groundbreaking there. But again, it's just another character, so I'm not sure what Overwatch 2 means. But I mean, it's there.
Yeah, I was taking a look at some of the comments when they said that Overwatch 2 will replace the original on Kotaku. And one of the guys is like, why are they calling it Overwatch 2? If you're getting rid of the first one, it's not really a sequel anymore. It's name it something Overwatch Nova or give it a code name or something like that, something to make it be like. Because when I was scratching my head too. I was like, wait a second, but now it's not a sequel. There's nothing there. There's no first one. You got rid of it. You destroyed it. So, yeah, it's kind of odd the way that they're wording how they're keeping it called Overwatch 2. So, but yeah, I watched a couple streamers play it when I had some time, and I noticed the same thing. I was like, there's nothing new here at all. There's no nothing that makes me scream. I mean, you're not paying for it, right? So it doesn't really matter what's going on.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And they got rid of boxes as well, right? Loot boxes. Did they get rid of those as well? I thought someone said.
I mean, it's entirely possible that they're going to do that. But I mean, they just don't have them in the beta anyway. So I don't know what they're going to do because they're still listing like hundreds of items for each character. Except for like the new one there. So Jorn didn't have anything listed. I didn't check. I think it's Junkyard Queen or something. Queen of
Yeah,
Junkyard or something
Junker
is the other
Queen.
new one.
Yeah.
Junker Queen or something. I didn't look at hers, but all the other characters all still have that stuff. I can't imagine that they're going to take that out of the game. I just don't know how they're going to provide it to people unless it's all going to be magical microtransactions, which
That's pretty much what the loot boxes were to begin with. Like,
yeah,
other than getting the few here or there that from leveling and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Just take a look at an AMA from about a week ago. Said one question was asked: what will happen to loot boxes and the current currencies? Credits, owl tokens. I don't even know what owl tokens are. Competitive points. Once Overwatch 2 goes live, will they just disappear? J Specs, their commercial lead, said there'll be more explanation on it later. However, the credits, tokens, and points will come with you in Overwatch 2. We are not transitioning loot boxes into Overwatch 2, and ahead of any launch of launch, any unopened loot boxes will be automatically opened with your account, receiving all the contents directly. Clarified below as well that Overwatch 1 credits come with you to Overwatch 2, but our new virtual currency will be the main currency. And there will be things in Overwatch 2 that will not be purchasable with those Overwatch 1 credits. Huh, interesting that. Yeah, I guess they're getting rid of the loot boxes. Means you're probably going to be paying for skins with tokens. You're not going to get any free.
Yeah.
Free.
Everything's going to be direct purchase.
Yeah, it'll be all little microtransaction tokens. Kind of like Valorant, kind of like League of Legends already, where you do have a loot box in the game, but you do have loot boxes and keys in the games that give you small things, but they give you currency as well at the same time. So. I mean, Valorant doesn't really give you much currency to play with. You got to buy that stuff. It's straight up. You want skins, you got a Prime sub or you're paying for them, which kind of hurts me about Valorant.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all cosmetic, right? It's kind of like Call of Duty with that too. I mean, yeah, you can get weapon XP and stuff like that, or modifiers for it in Call of Duty, but the majority of things it's all like once you level up that particular weapon, then you're good. But it's mostly cosmetic stuff.
I kind of like the season pass thing. I mean, yeah, I hate spending $20 or whatever it is to get the season pass, but I like the way that Call of Duty did it, where you paid once for the season pass and then were given enough points during the season to get the next one.
Yeah, Rocket League does that too.
Oh, do they? I didn't even know they had a season's pass now. Like, because I really haven't played a whole lot since for a while. But I do like that model of things. I think it works out better in the end for the purchaser.
Yeah, it entices and continue play. But other games like World of Warships doesn't do that, which you have to buy that premium season pass thing to continue to get that stuff. Yeah, it just I agree. I like that model better, where you can kind of make it back.
Yeah. Interesting enough, someone asked about the social systems that coming to clans and if they're going to bring in clans or in-game tournaments. I think that again, they're looking at a guild system. Have you? Did you have any? Sorry, I know this is kind of switching topics on Overwatch 2, but were you able to go in and look at the talent system that they're bringing in?
A talent system?
Yeah, there's. Where was it? I know I
didn't
read
see
it.
that. The only two real options right now, we're looking at all of the different heroes that are there, and then playing the game. Now, I didn't see anything more than that. I only played for like an hour last night, so it's not like I had any real in depth or was checking out a whole lot of stuff. But
Right. I think it might be just a PvE side of the house. I don't know if I don't think it's a heroes
so it's like
mission
you get
thing.
to pick what talents you want to use or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on a second here. I guess I can share my window here and show you. Maybe I don't know. Basically, they're showing Reinhardt, and he's got like a Crusader, Juggernaut, and Guardian, and he's got different talent trees. I think this is from a while ago, but they have one for Tracer. They have ones for everybody, right? But this was
Interesting.
from BlizzCon 2019. I don't know if it's still being
That
in
was a while ago.
development. Yeah, exactly, right. I don't know if it's still in development or what's going on, but it seems to be that they are coming out with quite a few different ones. Like they're showing Reinhardt, they're showing May, they're showing Lucio, and showing that these talents do exist.
Mm-hmm.
Tracer. So who knows? They might be still be in, but again, they might be just PVE based. They may not be for the game, the PvP game, which makes
Yeah.
sense ish, I guess. Just depends, like, just depends on what feel they're going for with the PvP.
I think it would be a lot to have to take into consideration. Like I've been playing a lot of regular Overwatch lately, and if you have to start taking into account different playstyles on top of talents, like I mean, I play a fairly aggressive diva, and if I have to now use a certain meta to continue playing that character that way, it might take away a bit from the game. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of like hitting like World of Warcraft, where you've got your different talent trees for your different characters, your different classes. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that gives you some play on what you want to focus on too, right? So, yeah, it might take like there might be a meta or something that someone shifts, but you could also find something that works really well for your play style if you're going to be moving forward in the match instead of staying back and staying behind. So, um,
Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. That I didn't. To me, what I read, it just seemed like it might have been PVE, but I guess we'll see a little bit further once more and more of the beta comes out. But how was the 5v5 system versus the 6v6?
Um, I didn't. I felt it was faster. Um, to be fair, I didn't even think about it that much while I was doing it. I didn't. It wasn't something that popped in and said, "Hey, do you realize that you're one person short in a match?" But I did notice that they've probably made up for stuff because it felt like I was doing damage quicker, as opposed to I had thought I heard that um, they upped hit points and stuff like that too. So it was a little weird that it felt so fast with less people
Yeah, it is kind of strange.
in retrospect.
I wonder if like the map size has just changed a little bit based on having 5v5. Like you do have more space to run around and fly around and stuff like that to do different talents. I wonder if that was part of it as well.
Uh, it could be. I mean, the maps felt the same, but maybe I wouldn't have noticed with less people either. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna have to check it out and we'll see if I actually get in on the beta. I haven't played Overwatch. I haven't played Overwatch in a long time because it just kind of withered and died away for most people. I think it's just the popularity wasn't as strong as it could have been.
I mean, I stopped playing when they switched queuing systems. It used to be you could queue up to whatever you wanted, and as whatever spot you wanted, and then in the middle of a match, oh, I need to change because I need to counter what the opponents are doing. So you just switch to whatever is needed. Um, Whereas now you're set. Like when you queue, you're queuing either flex, which is tank, DPS, or support, or you're choosing a combination of one of those three.
Oh,
And
okay.
then you can only pick, like if you choose that you're doing DPS, you can only pick a DPS character.
Oh, okay.
If all of a sudden your tank isn't doing enough tanking and you feel, well, I'll go play Reinhardt, well, you're DPS, so you can't switch to tank. You have to play a DPS character.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can't say that I other than the fact that somebody might have been better at DPS, um, switching myself over to tank from a DPS role I mean, it doesn't sound logical. But you could switch and help out your team better because you play differently, whereas now you're stuck in your role.
I wonder if that's going to cause people to be a little bit more toxic in the end, right? Like, be like, "Oh, you suck at tank. Why'd you queue as tank?" And guys are going to be all mad and angry because you get one tank that is just completely and utter can't do anything, but
Yeah.
you can't switch in the middle of the game. It doesn't allow you to, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can switch. So if you're a tank, you can switch between another tank if you want. You just can't switch between um,
DPS is
DPS
support.
and support. But with that being said, I've queued up into matches where I'll have two off tanks. So like a diva and a roadhog. So we don't have a shield, which with Orisa or Reinhardt or Sigma, those three guys have shields, which you need to block damage for stuff, and it's extremely helpful, obviously. But then you have two off tanks, and there's no shield, so you have no protection. You just have to push through with your DPS more.
Yeah, but I mean that's going to change a little bit with the 5v5, right? You're going to have one tank, 3 DPS,
Yeah.
one support. Now, can a support play a tank, or can they only play the support healing style?
No, so a couple of the support, or is it a couple? It's only one. So they have one support that has a mini shield, but she also can spread people out too because she uses like a mace, so she has knockback on her weapon. But really, if you're support, you're support. You can't. It's pretty. You're usually healing, but there's, like I said, there's a couple that don't necessarily heal. They just kind of support in other ways.
Yeah, like giving a damage increase or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of looking into it, and I did apply for the beta, so we'll see if I get in. I can take a look quicker, a bigger, deeper look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're going to implement. I know because now that Valorant's talking about implementing some style of voice chat or voice monitoring. I wonder if Blizzard's going to start looking into doing the same thing. Like, was it Toxic playing last night, or when you got a chance to play, or was it just normal?
So depending on who I'm playing with, so in the beta 2, there wasn't really a whole lot of communication. There was no voice comms at all. When I play with some of my other friends and we're kind of teaming up together, there's more conversation. But generally, there isn't a lot of voice chat that I hear going on in games when I queue up with just randoms. It's mostly all text chat, so I don't. Maybe Valorant has more voice comms than Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, it has a built-in voice chat system, just like Counter Strike and everything else. Sorry, before we hit
But
on that, but one of the comments was someone said that that the game is shockingly light on content. That they're wasting development resources, possibly a battle royale concept or something. But for a big sequel, it doesn't have a whole lot to it. So it says they're releasing less heroes than Overwatch 1. But I don't quite understand that. I mean, from what I'm seeing, 5 maps and 3 new characters.
Well, right now there's only 2 new characters that I've seen.
Okay.
I don't think they've announced the third one yet, which I would have to assume is a support. But it's my understanding that they are getting rid of a couple of the Overwatch 1 characters. They won't carry over into the new one. So I don't know which ones they're not carrying over. I remember hearing it announced. I'm not sure what they are. But it looks like they will start with less because they're getting rid of a few.
The rosters. Let's see here. Diva, Doomfist, Junker Queen, Orisa, Reinhardt, Roadhog,
Yeah, those are tanks.
Sigma, Winston, Wrecking Ball, and Zarya,
Yeah.
whatever. Damage:
Sorry.
Ashe, Bastion, Cassidy, Echo, Genji, Hanzo, Junkrat, Mei,
Yeah.
Pharah, Reaper, Soldier 76, Sojourn, Sombra, Symmetra, Torbjorn, Tracer, Widowmaker.
Yeah,
They're
I'm not
missing
sure who
someone
that's
in
missing so
there.
far.
I thought there was someone's missing in that damage. I can't remember the name.
It probably is. Oh, I didn't hear you say Hanzo.
Yeah, no, I said Hanzo. Yeah, Hanzo's there.
Oh, okay.
Support: Anna, Baptiste, Bridget,
Yeah.
Lucio, Mercy, Moira, Zenyatta.
Yeah. I don't.
So
That sounds like them all. I don't know. I don't know who they're taking out. I did hear. I just know that I did hear that they are removing a few.
yeah, I don't even know who's missing out of that. Maybe it's someone I don't know.
I'd have to pull up the Overwatch list and see who's there.
Yeah,
They may not have pulled it out in beta either. They may wait till it's released to pull out whatever characters they're not using.
yeah. What does it say? It says there's 21 heroes at launch of the game. Since then, 11 have been added. Doesn't say anything about anybody being removed, so. Cut heroes. Here it is. The following heroes have been cut during development of the game. That's a long list, and I'm not going to read it out because I honestly don't think any of these are like actual ones that were put into the game and then pulled out.
Oh, okay.
Like they might. There's nothing in there that rings a bell, at least not to me. That so those are probably ones that they developed over time, and they're like, yeah, these just aren't working into the second game or in the game to begin with. So at least that's what it is. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out. I'm glad that they got rid of the loot boxes because I hate that random stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to be paying for every skin that I could possibly get.
Yeah, you want to be seen as having your own flavor with your characters, but you just don't want to have to pay for it all the time.
No, it's so painful. It's like, oh, okay. So now, like I said, I would welcome that season pass thing. Would be fun to me. That's for sure. But getting back to the voice chat thing, another thing that hit the news 4 days ago was Valorant will start listening to your voice chat in July.
So when you first posted that as a topic for discussion, I was like, "Oh my god, what?" So I mean, because I mean, you hear all the crazy stories about the Google Minis, the Alexas, the whatever, right? Listening in while you're watching TV, or even your smart TV listening into you, and now you have to pay attention to what you're saying in game or what's being said around you. Like I don't know if a game's just listening in on me.
I don't know if targeted advertisements going to happen in games too. Oh, you really like that skin? We're going to show you that skin over and over again. Yeah, you want to see that? Oh, don't worry, we're going to show you that skin so that way you see the skin. So Valorant's going to be listening for disruptive behavior reports. So they're going to start out by just listening to gain an idea of what disruptive behavior sounds like. And they're recording in the sense, I believe, that it's like an AI program that's listening for trigger words, right? Like something that's going to trigger someone into, like someone saying the N word, or they're saying F word over and over again, dropping bombs here and there, right? So I think they're trying to get their automatic listening system, I'm going to guess is what it is, to understand what these words sound like and in the context they're set in. That's kind of my understanding on what they're doing. Riot, let's see here. They want to collect clear evidence that could verify any violations of behavioral policies. That means training some kind of language model using the recordings. So they're going to use recordings of whatever you say in game to train a language model to get the tech in a good enough place for a beta launch later this year. So they're basically going to record everything people, well, maybe not everything. I have no idea. I'm not working at Riot. They're basically going to record everything everybody says, put it into a language model, and say, okay, if these words are said, flag it, and then probably have a real person look at it, and the real person's gonna be like, yeah, that person needs to be banned.
But wouldn't that, you'd think that require like huge amounts of storage or storage space, right? Like to keep all these audio files and whatnot. You'd think it'd be like, I mean, you have 100,000 people playing at once. That's 100,000 audio files that you're recording at once too.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm not exactly sure how they plan on implementing it. I don't know if they're planning on doing it like as in a stream and it's being fed. It's only going to be certain matches that they're going to be watching. It's going to be like, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to implement it. And they don't really say how they want to do it. But
Yeah.
the first the first thing I read on, I was looking up some different takes on it and stuff, and seeing what like Reddit had to say. And the first one was hashtag privacy right off the
Yeah,
bat.
for
That's
sure.
a big thing. I mean, okay, I get it. You're in a video game. You're playing. That's fine. You're in a video game playing. But what are you talking about in the video game that shouldn't be recorded?
Well, I mean, I'm more concerned about, is it a push to talk? Is it only going to go when I push to talk? Because then I know I'm talking in game. Or is it constantly recording and my, I don't know, somebody's giving me banking information over my shoulder, right?
Right?
Like, I don't know. I can't see them getting away with having a constant recording, which doesn't make sense because, I mean, that's, you kind of, who are you only focusing on what they're saying in the game, I guess. As long as they're not saying something in the game, then it's fine.
I mean, everything for me, it just screams, okay, what else are you recording?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of, and I don't want to hit on COVID bullshit on the channel, but like it kind of is like that. It's like where you're tracking the amount of people you're hitting. So this guy said that word, so now you're tracking him, and that guy said that word, so now you're tracking him, and this guy said this one, and now you've played in the same match with these three people, but who else? So you know what I mean? Like you get this big spider web of, okay, so these three people played together and they all said words that are inappropriate to the AI. So now they're now playing with these other 15 people who are playing with these 15 people who are playing with these. You know what I mean? Like it kind of gets a little bit. What are you doing with that extra information? What are you only tracking words that are inappropriately to be said over comms? Are you like what happens if you get a phone call and that phone call is the bank, like you say, and you forget to press mute, or maybe you press mute in the game, but guess what? It doesn't matter that you press muted because they're still listening to your mic.
They record all the time. Who knows?
You know what I mean? Like
it's crazy.
It seems to me like it's just one of those things where you're just like, I'm just not gonna play now. Like I got nothing to hide, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I want some rando company recording it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's stuff that I know you and I could talk about, but that doesn't mean I need anybody else hearing it or listening to it or whatever.
Yeah, and what happens if you turn off the in-game sound and you're just talking on Discord, but the game's still recording your mic?
Oh, scary.
You know what I mean?
Like Valorant NSA? Is that what we're calling this now?
They're searching for people. Yeah, it's funny because I'm reading a book. It's called The Terminal List by Jack Carr. I don't know if you've heard of it. He's an ex SEAL, and it's a really really good book. And in the book they talk a lot about turning on the TV loud so the phone can't record the conversation and stuff like that. And this, like, what am I going to be doing? Am I going to be like listening to something in my room, some background music on speakers so that, they can't hear what I'm saying into the mic? But how, like it just screams, privacy. I mean, I think that's all you have to say is privacy. Like, I mean, as long as you can guarantee that when I hit mute or I turn off in-game talk, that I'm not being recorded, okay, maybe I'll come back and I'll come and play your game. Like,
Even then, I don't know.
and
Because
are you
isn't
agreeing
the
to
whole
this?
argument? Sorry.
And are you agreeing to this? Are they saying right out, we are recording you? You must accept before you play.
Well, I mean, you have to. They have to, because I mean, just in the U.S. alone, some states are one-party acceptance, but there's a lot of states that are two-party acceptance. So you can't record without somebody's permission. So, and I think Canada, federally, you can't record without both parties' consent. I think.
Interesting.
I don't anybody quote me on that, but
I have
I'm
your
pretty sure
consent
here
to
in
record
Canada
this,
it's.
right?
Sorry.
I have your consent to record this, right?
We talked about that already.
Wait, we talked about that. We're good with this. Not a big deal. But yeah. So back to what I was saying about talking about the book. Good book. Anybody wants it? Terminalist, Amazon. It's like $20 or whatever. Really good read. But back to this. Yeah. I don't know. They are just saying it's like they wanted the promise of a safer, more inclusive environment for everyone who chooses to play is worth it. Riot says it sees voice evaluation as a way for it to collect clear evidence against players who take to comms to abuse and harass their teammates. The tool will also give the studio something it can point to when it provides sanctioned players with feedback. Are you going to send them saying it?
What's this? I mean, so when we do deal with disciplinary stuff in the RP community, we require evidence, right? So we're always asking you have to provide, pretty much it's always video evidence of whatever the problem is. So I mean, I can understand the want for Riot to say we need to record it so that we can provide these people with the evidence that they messed up. But there's just too much, I think. Like, it's a scale, right? And right now that scale is like dropping. Like, the privacy thing just outweighs everything.
I mean, I can understand them recording gameplay footage if you're harassing, right? Like being a disruptive teammate. In-game footage been recorded, but in-game voice comms is a bit much, I think, even on my scale. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What happens, like, my wife comes down and I'm yakking with her for 2 seconds about something that's completely innocuous to the game, but they record it, and all of a sudden I get a letter in the mail being like, hey, we recorded you hearing you say this. Like, but you have no context, and why are you recording it? I didn't say you could record it, Like, there's just so much, like, you've got that, I like the greater good. If it helps catch one bad guy, like, the Dark Knight, what do they call the ever watching machine there that taps in every cell phone?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like that. Is it the greater good? No, I just don't feel like it is, at least not for me. Like, if
there's other ways to do it, yes, it's more difficult, but stick to the other ways that don't infringe on people.
Oh, no, for sure. I just, no thank you. I'm already being recorded by Google, and they've got all my passwords, and I'm already being, I don't know, who else is watching on mine, Microsoft Teams and Zoom. They're all tracking what I'm doing, and now they want my video games to do the same thing to me. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, at least Google and Apple were doing it before we realized it. Now that we realize it, I don't think anybody's happy with it. Nobody wants it.
Well, the good thing is with Google is you can actually tell their apps not to track, right? You're allowed to turn that off in the application that you're running. So that's fair. Like, okay, we could track you. We're telling you this. We could track you, but if you ask our apps not to track you, we're going to keep it off the books. Whether or not it actually does stay off, I don't know.
That's the thing, right? I mean, how many times have you been having a conversation with your wife and all of a sudden, like, the next day you have all these ads for something that you were talking about?
Well,
Like it's
I've had it happen too many times where all of a sudden I'll be like, and they try to be discreet about it too. It's like, and we're not just going to put it up as the first thing. We're not going to put it up as the second thing, but the third thing that's on your daily deals. Guess what? That is what you've been looking for. That's what you've been talking about. Oh, I feel like I want to buy a new trailer today. Okay, cool. Or, yeah, maybe. And then like 3 days later, it's like nothing but trailer ads. It's really weird that they give you that time. Like, it's like, okay, we don't want to alert them right off the bat. Let's just kind of
Yeah.
push them in slowly there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't like it. That being said, I mean, maybe that's the way moving forward with everybody. Maybe we're going to start seeing other games do the same thing, just to, in the guise of having a safer environment to play with.
I mean, this will be the test, right? Riot will be Valorant will be the test on whether it'll actually go or not. I expect that they'll implement. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they should talk to their legal department, but I expect that they're going to implement and then immediately get hit with a class action lawsuit.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to watch and follow. Maybe it'll be so discreet that they're like, yeah, nobody knew, nobody sees us. We swear. It'll be
Well, I
interesting
mean,
to follow.
if it starts picking up steam, like, and other games start to do it, like that's when it's going to be like every major law firm is going to be like, well, I'll try my hand at suing this because these game companies have millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll have to fight it out a few times. I expect if more games try and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. For the greater good, I don't think it does what I don't think it's going to do what they are saying it's going to do at the end of the day.
No,
I don't
for
think
sure.
it's going to clean anything up. Sure, people won't say it, but it's not gonna. They'll type it or whatever, right? They'll find another way to bully people.
I think it'd end up being like in-game disruptions. Like, I think that's what they will end up doing, right? It's like, okay, well, I know they're listening to me now, so I am no longer. I mean, you'll get the one or two angry people who just can't hold their tongue, and they'll be like, okay, they'll find a way to disrupt the game for everybody else, and just like, yeah, okay, you know what, I'm making people mad now, and because you can't get rid of people like that in Valorant. Like, there's no like vote to kick. You can't get them off your team that way. And with Valorant, you have to have it has to be unanimous, I think, for the vote to pass. 4 of 5, I think it is, or is it 5 of 5? I can't remember.
Well, I mean, the person that's getting voted out isn't gonna vote themselves out. I expect.
Vote to surrender Valorant FF. I was just wondering how many votes you had to have. Can't remember. How many votes? Surrendering in an unrated match requires 80% of team votes. In a ranked match, the entire team must vote yes for the game to end. So you get
to forfeit the match or whatever.
Yeah, so you get into a match where this guy just lost his last one. He's already angry. He's already calling people fuckface. I guess I should watch the language. He's calling them, bad names. Trying to find a word that is not a curse word. You're calling him names. You still can't surrender. You're stuck in that game for the entire duration. And if you leave, you get a penalty, right? So you get a lever penalty is assigned to you, and on top of that lever penalty, you also will lose points in your ranking, right? So so you get a bad person who's very toxic. You're kind of it really sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah.
Even in League of Legends, you don't require 5 votes in a ranked match. It's still 4. Before 15 minutes, you need 5, but after 15 minutes, you need 4, and you can end a match. So, not nearly as bad.
A thought just occurred to me. If it's not push to talk, and somebody goes off because even if they have it set up to push to talk, but somebody's getting frustrated with somebody else's gameplay, and somebody just gets angry and frustrated and vents, but they're not venting in game, and they're recording it, and are they getting held liable for just somebody venting to themselves? Like, I mean, often I'll do something stupid and I'll get frustrated and I'll say something, or I'll see somebody else do something stupid, like, why did you go around that fucking corner, blah 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 blah, right? And get frustrated that they don't know how to play or whatever. And I express myself, but I'm not expressing it to them, I'm just saying it to myself. Are you going to be held liable for that? Like that, it seems like a slippery slope.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's every time you push to talk, or you're gonna get the hammer's gonna come down, or if it's every time, or if you're on if you don't have push to talk set, it's just voice sensitivity. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I gonna have to do? Press the mute on my mic and be like, "Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I just had to make sure I didn't get banned because I'm screaming at myself. Where did you guys go?" "Oh, we took the bomb to B." Oh, sheesh. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. So for Valorant players out there that are wondering, July 13th, they're going to start recording your voice in game to help the system, I guess, to figure out. So if you want to say something against it or post against Riot and let them know, hey, this is don't know if this is good or bad, but make sure you voice your opinion before that. So what did you pick anything up on the Steam sale yet? Did you do the bad thing?
I honestly did not. I didn't do anything for Steam. I still have, I don't know what, 101 games on my wish list. I did go through my wish list. There's FIFA and NFL 22 both on there for like $5. I might.
Did you
But
play NFL
Madden,
21 that you got for free?
did I? I don't think I did. But I played a bit of. Well, you know what it is? I haven't installed it on this PC, because I just built it. So, I did have Madden. It was probably 2019 is probably. Oh no, 2019 or 2020 is the last one that I have installed. From before I built this, but I haven't installed one afterwards. But I mean, I've heard 22 has very mixed reviews as
Better
well.
graphics?
So,
Did they up the graphics?
so the graphics are better, but the apparently other stuff sucked, and it didn't make it worth it to purchase it. But maybe at $5 it is worth it.
I mean, I'm still playing MLB 2020 or something, or 2019. So for me, buying a sports game, I like, updated rosters is worth it. I'd rather pay $5 and get the updated rosters.
Yeah, I think that's been well. I think yeah, $5 isn't bad for that. And I think that's been the biggest complaint in Madden for years is that they haven't done a graphics overhaul, and it's the exact same game. You're just paying for new rosters, and it just wasn't worth it at $90, or I think it's $90 at full price. $80 right now. Sorry,
Yeah.
which it's not. I would never buy these games for $80. That's a huge waste of money for me for new rosters, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people that would do it, ones that play like 60, 70 hours of the game, like, sure, whatever, but
I mean, I know guys that are playing in NHL, and they get NHL every year, but they're also playing in leagues and stuff like that too.
I didn't realize they had leagues.
Oh, apparently it's a huge thing for NHL, where there's like offline leagues where you get your five guys together and you play like games, like there's set games that you
Oh,
have to be there for, and if you don't show up or you don't have somebody to backfill your position, your team forfeits and stuff like that. Like apparently it's pretty serious stuff. I have a coworker that plays it religiously. He was in on a league for a bit, but it got to be too much for him, so he ended up getting out.
Yeah. I mean, I can barely show up at the arena on time. I can't imagine being shown up for a friggin' fake hockey game online. I mean,
It's
I
like
can
a
understand if you're
hardcore-
playing for pro, real money, it's esports, yeah, sure, whatever. But just for
Yeah.
the fact of doing it just sounds
It's like a hardcore WoW rating community. Like
Yeah.
you're if you're not there, people get like legit mad at you.
Yeah, again, like I said, I can see it for when you're. I can see it when you are playing professionally, but I mean, I've real life commitments. No, anybody? I don't know. Cool, man. Yeah, I think we've hit the couple topics we really wanted to talk about. I mean, a little disappointed about Overwatch 2 and a little bit nervous about the moving forward with the Valorant comms thing. So hopefully hopefully Overwatch 2 actually is. Hopefully they just change the name. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they just change the name and be like, this. We've merged Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, and now we're calling them Overwatch Primal or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be my hope. That's what I would like to see, but Blizzard does their own thing and they don't care. So
Seems like that's been their mantra for a little while.
yeah, for sure. But I think at this point it's a good time to wrap it up. We've touched on the subjects and beaten them like a dead horse. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. Thanks for watching. You know, if you have to, sit down, have a nice glass of bourbon, and enjoy the podcast. And we will catch you in the next one.
Have a good one, everyone.
Peace.